Pumpkins are one of the oldest cultivated plants in the Americas and can be dated back to 5000 BC. They are fun to grow and use for decorations. But jack o' lanterns aren't the only way to use pumpkins. In this video, we will talk about the best ways to grow them and some of my favorite varieties. Pumpkins are a type of winter squash and come in lots of colors and sizes. Let's talk about my favorite varieties. My favorite kind of pumpkin to grow is the small pie pumpkin. Sugar pie and New England pie are my favorites. They have sweet flesh, cook up really well, and are the perfect size for a pie or custard. They weigh 4 to 6 pounds and take about 100 to 120 days to mature. Larger pumpkins are often used for decoration, but can be eaten as well. Carving and roasting the seeds is a fun family activity. Jack-o'-lantern and Connecticut field pumpkins are my favorites. This is the Cinderella pumpkin, which weighs 10 to 15 pounds. A French pumpkin called, and I'm going to say this wrong, Rouge Vif d'Antamps. They have a sweet, creamy flavor and are very popular in soup recipes. Jack Be Little is a small variety that you can train to climb. Like other pumpkins, they are still very viney and take up lots of space. Going up a trellis is one way to contain them if you are an urban gardener. They take 100 days to mature. There's also a Jill Be Little from Johnny Seeds. Pumpkins like rich, fertile soil with a pH of 5.8 to 6.8. Grow them in full sun. Pumpkins take up a lot of space, so plan accordingly. I like to start them in 3-inch peat pots at the beginning of April for Zone 6B. Plant 1 inch deep. Plant them 2 to 3 weeks before that last frost date, as you don't want them to get too big in pots. Pumpkins can be picky about transplanting, so another reason peat pots are nice. I tear the bottom off so the roots have easy access to the ground. Pumpkins have a long season, up to 120 days. However, you may not want them to mature until late September or early October if you want jack-o'-lanterns for decorations. In that case, count backward from your last frost date, add an extra week, and plant them then. So if my pumpkin takes 120 days and my last frost date is October 1st, then I will plant them around June 1st. Give pumpkins a nice layer of mulch, or you can plant them in landscaping fabric. The landscaping fabric is nice, especially if you have a shorter growing season and want to warm up the ground. Pumpkins are heavy feeders, and I foliar feed them with fish emulsion throughout the season. Check out the description for links to my favorite growing products. Pumpkins take up lots of room. Depending on size, they need 50 to 100 square feet per plant, so they are not well suited for small or urban gardeners. That said, smaller varieties can be trained to climb a vertical fence or trellis. Pumpkins do great in a Native American Three Sisters garden. I have a video on planting one that I will link below. Traditionally, the Three Sisters Gardens uses a no-till approach. Mounds of dirt were created in which to plant the seeds. Pumpkins do well planted in hills, about 3 seeds per hill, with the hills 5 to 6 feet apart. Row spacing requirements may vary, so check your individual packet. For between row spacing, bush plants require 4 to 5 feet, and ones with viney habits require 6 to 12 feet. Row spacing within the row, you'll need 18 to 24 inches or 45 to 60 centimeters for pie-sized pumpkins, and 2 to 3 feet or 60 to 91 centimeters for the jack-o'-lantern size. The blossoms of pumpkins are also edible. Pick off the male flowers, which will be on a long, thin stem. Females will have a slight bulge behind the flower. Did you know we have a native bee in North America called the squash bee? Unfortunately, like other insects, they are in decline due to pesticide use. The scopa, or hairs on their back legs, are quite large to carry the bigger pollen pumpkins produce. Powdery mildew affects pumpkins. Neem oil can help with this. Squash bugs are always my worst pest. You should be inspecting your plants several times a week. Eggs can be crushed by hand. Neem oil and spinosad work well at this stage. This is the adult squash bug. They can be much harder to control. Some good general practices are to have good soil drainage, good airflow around your plants, and use crop rotation. Keep field borders mowed and remove plant refuse in the fall. Row cover is a great way to protect your baby pumpkin plants. Remove it as soon as the plants start to flower to allow the bees to pollinate. This is my field at the end of pumpkin season. I always loved it when young friends come and pick pumpkins. Allow your pumpkins to cure out in the field for a couple of weeks. Pumpkin fruits will tolerate a light frost, but temps under 28 degrees Fahrenheit or -2 Celsius will cause them to rot. After curing, store pumpkins in a cool, dry cellar, a basement, or a root cellar at 50 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 months. One of my favorite dishes is this lentil, pumpkin, and potato soup. I hope this was helpful information. Feel free to leave questions in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up to share it with others. Thanks for watching and have a sunny day.